Welcome back to the Dragon's Tome, where we go through chronological order every issue of Dragon Magazine. Um, we're we're about halfway there now. Issue 72.
Right.
My name is Jack.
Fifth, maybe.
Uh, I'm with my friend
Square
Chopper.
root of hi. That's
He
me.
yeah, he got his name in prison. They had to let him go. They couldn't find the bodies. And my other friend, that's Rob.
Yo.
He was the British Butcher. His kickboxing career, 72-6, I believe it was.
Ding,
Had
ding,
to
It
get
was
out of the
it was
game.
actually 6 and 72.
Heart problems. So
Heart problems. He was kicked out of the for using steroids on his foot.
yes,
I
yes.
actually had a metal plate implanted. It was not fair. They said, "Come on."
Are we going to turn facts into a bit? Are we going to start? I'm trying to be serious
I'm
here.
trying to obfuscate the truth.
Oh, okay. So, Dragon Magazine. Now, what month is this?
You
April.
don't even. It's April, Jack. Didn't you research?
April Fools.
Oh, he got
He's so
us.
funny. Ouch.
Oh, he got
I'm
us.
on fire. I'm so burned.
Get out the aloe. Call the burn unit. Yes, this is an April edition, $3. We have a fantastic cover.
Clyde Caldwell again.
Ty Caldwell
An
again.
amazing cover, one that I remembered. And
So you had a crappy one last week, but this week is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
and definitely, but just the color choices, the way everything's laid out, everything. If I saw this sitting on a rack someplace, I would have picked it up.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I like the
anyone,
colors, the nice red in the background,
yeah, for sure.
and yeah, I think these two girls are going to be eaten.
They look quite formidable. I don't know.
They do, but
I'm I'm gonna go even odds.
that dragon's tongue is quite phallic, though.
Even money.
Really? I
Well,
don't want to know what
I think
you're
they're gonna get
accustomed
swept
to.
off of this thing because going past the tongue, you look at this thing's tail, it goes on for miles.
Yeah, it's
That's
true.
true.
He's got a long tail.
So she's gonna get shot with that bow. He's gonna back off for a minute and whip that tail and knock him right off that ledge.
Maybe.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
She does
In
have some
later-
kind of feather pendant on her arm, so maybe that's some kind of protection.
Amulet of feather falling.
It could be, yeah. Even if she gets swept off, she won't die.
I don't see it on that bowman, or bowwoman, so she's toast.
The funny thing is that this armor is almost identical to the armor from the last issue, so it must be in the same
World?
scene. Yeah,
Oh.
these girls, because I recognize the daggers the girls have. That's the guy flying last week had
Oh,
the
yeah.
same
But
dagger.
they have different spurs.
I,
She's
I
actually got a real spur on.
Yeah, well, they're not dragon riders.
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe they are. Maybe this is their beast has gotten uppity.
They're taming him.
the taming of the
He's
beast.
he's pretty muscular. He's a lot more muscular than the last one. And this one doesn't have arms, so this is
No.
a drake, not a dragon, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
always
I
mix it
will
up.
say a very good depiction of women in fantasy as fighters in so far as
They're not
if you
scantily
wanted to-
clad and
yeah, and they're knights.
not
and
cheesecake. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
not being
yeah, yeah.
rescued by someone. They're actually being proactive.
I'm not saying there's not a
They're
point
actually
to
they're
having
wearing
that.
functional armor.
Yeah, they're so yeah. Another good cover.
It's funny about talking about functional armor because certain article coming up.
Ooh, is that a window into
was a
one of
tease.
your articles?
It was a tease.
Okay, well, you know what? I don't like to tease people. Rob, why don't you go first?
Oh, really? What a coincidence. I was just talking about going first. We're going to go to page 26, I believe.
26.
The real barbarians. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. This is one of my articles too.
This is a very long article. And it is the real history of barbarians. They throw this, I think it's the author is Catherine Kerr. She throws shade at poor Conan. Get some shade thrown at her right away.
Well, she low key sows a little bit of shade to indigenous people, I think.
This goes on for a long time. In nowadays parlance, you would call this woke, as it defends Barb versus colonizers, and saying that the barbarians are more they're better because they aren't they aren't civilized. But there's also a lot of inaccuracy in this article. Also,
Yes, yes. Even I believe at the time what she was saying,
there's a lot of
basically
just making stuff up.
archaeologists
Yeah,
didn't. We can forgive that she's comparing fantasy to real life and points, but I think
but the problem is
even
she's trying to say this is what real barbarians are like, and she chooses so many different types of things that aren't necessarily barbarians, or just maybe natives,
Yeah.
or like
I
yeah,
mean, the highs and the lows in betweens. I mean, if you were an indigenous person, you read some of that, you'd be like, "What the hell is she talking? What
what.
is this white lady telling me?"
And I do like the there's one thing she talks about unfree people in the barbarians. They're not slaves. They're just unfree. They bind themselves doing menial jobs for life, with for free for a family and just to survive. But those aren't slaves. Those are just unfree people. It's like what?
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
it's a very oversimplification. I said of different barbarian tribes to try to make a general barbarian culture, which doesn't work because these are very different time periods and different people, and it like Pat says, it reduces them, makes it all of them to
yeah,
just nothing.
very much so, very much so. It, it's you take anyone who wasn't up to like say a comparable technological era, say of the Middle East and Europe and say
Even the
China at the
Americas,
time,
yeah, yeah.
and then go, hey, these people here. Well, I'm going to say that they're the barbarians. Now they're not savages, but I'm going to say they're the
They're
barbarians. Like,
all barbarians, yeah.
yeah, but you're kind of
Yeah,
big paintbrushing
generalization,
over.
yeah, very.
It wouldn't fly today. I don't think there'd be.
And she also paints a pretty rosy picture of how women would have been treated, and just surmises stuff like, oh, obviously they would have been treated like this. It's like, no, women were treated like crap, no matter what
yeah,
age, and it didn't matter if they had power or whatever, or if they were important to the society. They still were treated like crap. Don't try to say that barbarians treated their women better, because they did
yeah.
not.
I mean,
No,
the truth is that they've always women have been treated poorly
Yeah, especially
in the past.
in non-matriarchal societies, it's not good, and
Yeah,
it's almost like she's putting her own fantasy of what she wishes it was like into it, which is not what this article is supposed to be. It's supposed to be real barbarians, right? So,
she framed it. These are real barbarians. Now
mm-hmm.
she was wrong in
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of ways, but if she had just said, "Hey,
This is how
this
I
is
think
my
we could.
idea
Yeah, exactly.
for to make your fantasy barbarians feel, I don't know, lived in or different
Yeah,
or
that's why I said
uh,
like my overall thing was it's an interesting way to play barbarians and very interesting article, but don't say it's real. Don't compare it to real things because that's it's
yeah.
just not.
I mean, my closing note in my notes here says, "While there's some good information, the whole thing reads as some kind of high school or first year anthropology final paper."
If that, like I think if a real professor saw this, they'd take in some they yeah, they'd be like, what? And but even her bibliography is like all over the place. It's like Celts. It's the like Iliad. The you know a lot of Celts like the. But then she tries to make it everything, but that doesn't work. If you're just facing it, make it just about the Celts. Then don't make it about everything else. Like
my Celt-based barbarians.
mm-hmm.
You don't need to bring the Iroquois. You don't
Yeah,
need to bring in.
yeah, that's right.
You could say these are the barbarians from this fantasy world of whatever.
And I bet a lot of her things is probably true about Celts necessarily, but she tried to make it true about everything, which is not. Like that's the thing. She
Yeah,
she her idea was flawed from the beginning. Instead of like you say, just say, hey, this is here a way to play barbs that is interesting, or here's Celt barbarians. But that's not
Yeah,
how she did the article, and I think that was the main problem. The article is good. It's just the way it was laid out was wrong. I think that's the problem. Her basic idea that this is real barbarians is not true. It's
right.
they don't you can't paint everybody with the same brush, and B, a lot of what she says is not true.
Just was not
no, you
true.
definitely can't paint the barbarians as a broad
no,
stroke like
yeah.
that,
How can you say like a Native American is similar to a Celt? Like it's not at all.
or a
Like
Hun,
or
I
a
mean,
Hun,
Huns
especially
don't. No.
Huns. Yeah, totally different thing. Yeah,
I mean, if we're going to use a barbarian template, it would have to be the Huns because they were the by far the most prolific.
Yeah, I would think that that's when you look at barbarians in D&D, it was very much like a Hun barbarian. I would think like
Yeah.
steppe barbarians, like come down from the mountains to
Yeah,
raid,
yeah.
and not like not
And I think in Hollywood or like cinema, that was the idea,
yeah.
anyways. Like that
I
that,
would think so.
and I can understand. Hey, that's been done. I want to try something new, but she
Yeah,
just
I love the idea of. Well, eventually, we do get a Celts second edition book. I think one of the colored books is all about the Celts, and it's really interesting. So
we don't use the term colored anymore.
now, I think it was what color was it? Was it? I think it was.
Was it green?
Was it green? It might have been
Like
green.
a forest green? Like
Might
a
have
hunter
been.
green?
Yep. Yeah, Jack. So, anyways, that was my first article.
Okay, well, I think we all jumped in on that one, and but it
Yeah,
was there was a lot to dive into. It was a long article. Appreciate that she did the.
and like I say, it was real interesting. It's just the
Yeah, I
basis
mean,
of it is
I'm
wrong.
not going to say that there wasn't any good information in
Yeah,
it,
no, I think it was a
but
lot of good information.
there's some parts that misses the spots and slightly offensive if you're an indigenous person.
Yeah,
Or probably if you're a Celt or a Mongol, also. So they're just not around as much anymore.
but yeah, so
And if you're
Pat,
Conan,
well, if she would be lamentating if Conan was around.
yes, Pat, get us
My
out of
turn?
this one. Yes,
All right, page 8.
Page 8.
yes, this is my second one for sure
To
too.
the Sorcerer's Scroll. We get to see the origins of the fighter subclass that dominated the second edition, the
Yeah,
Cavalier.
Yeah, Cavaliers are great.
You know, it was like playing a paladin without all the restrictions.
Restrictions, yeah. They also didn't have the spells, did they? I don't think Cavaliers got the spells.
No, but I mean that was minute. If
I never
you
I
know,
never liked the spells about paladins. I like the knight aspect, and that's what the Cavalier is. So that's why I
yeah.
always like Cavaliers.
So it's nice to see that this was here, and then they put it out. And even got uh, the little. Here's another installment. It's going to be a real thing.
And it
Blah
is.
blah blah.
And it
By
does.
Mr. Egg.
Mr. Egg, is he? Isn't he? No, he's Sonic's enemy, isn't he?
Yeah. So I think this is the first draft because I think
Yeah.
he
Oh, it
actually
changes a
says
lot.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, you could actually do your comments and add your inputs.
Yeah, but it's definitely it's coming as a class that I think is pretty loved.
Yeah, I mean once we got in the second edition, and then I almost never saw a paladin anymore. It was always people were always playing Cavaliers.
Well, it's a lot easier to roll a Cavalier too compared to a Paladin. Paladin, if you're actually rolling it legit, it's pretty hard to roll because you got to
Yeah.
have a high wisdom and a high strength. That's not the easiest, unless you're doing the assign. Like it matters what system you're using, but if you're rolling straight
Yeah.
up, it wasn't easy.
For sure.
Which you're
Right.
supposed to do in first edition. You're supposed to roll it straight up. So
And a cavalier has all the goodness of being a knight without the religious or the I don't know the role playing to a degree how you have to act a certain way as a paladin.
Yeah.
You get all the hey, I get to be one of the knights of the round table
Yeah.
without the baggage.
that's what always attracted me to Paladins is that the whole idea of being a knight, and yeah, this is I never liked the spells in Paladins, frankly. It's always good to have a little bit of healing, but I never liked the idea that Paladins could heal. Like that's what a cleric's for, really. But I like the knight idea, right? So that's why a Cavalier is a better version of a Paladin, I think, personally. Although you never really hear about Cavaliers anymore. Nobody plays Cavaliers anymore. It's kind of the fad is past. Everybody plays Paladin.
But everyone wants to play a paladin again now.
Exactly. That's
Maybe
what I mean.
The thing is, I haven't played D&D and hardly any of these new ones. Even third edition, I never played.
I don't know if they're available. Yeah, is a thing. Yeah,
No, I know they're available, but what did they? I don't know what they changed that
Or
made
nerfed
more
them.
popular
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, it could be.
If they nerfed them, or if they made paladins stronger, like giving them better spells.
There's something, but definitely Paladins are still popular. They won the war in the end, even though Cavaliers are cooler. Paladins won. So it's
Yeah.
beta versus VHS, boys. We know which should have won.
Well, I'll have to ask someone who knows.
Yeah, someone actually plays fifth edition.
Yeah,
Query as to why you don't hear about anyone playing a cavalier.
I'm not even. I don't know if they're
Okay.
around because fifth edition I think got a real lot of stuff. So I'm curious if they're even in there. Yeah, Cavaliers. I think everybody had this article again, right?
It's probably a subclass now where you're
Yeah,
like, hey,
yeah.
you can do this, and then you can
Well, it
also.
started off as a subclass of the fighter. It's in the fighter's handbook.
But yeah.
So it's probably relegated to its,
Yep.
its origins, to its
Did the
meek,
Cavalier
and
come in on Earth Canada too,
Yes.
I believe it did. Yeah.
along
Mm-hmm.
with the barbarian,
Yep. Yep,
Yes.
Bruce.
Yeah.
the crazy barbarian?
Okay, well, then I think I will do my first article, and we're going to look at page 14 of the
Oh,
PDF.
that's my article too.
Oh, well, you should
Piercer.
have chose wisely.
You chose the other one instead.
I think we all picked each other's
Well,
articles.
Well, let's just say I don't have any more articles.
the ecology of the piercer. Now, ecology. I'm going to bring it up because it starts when it says the ecology of. It's a kind of a fiction version of someone discussing. It's being reading a story about what the creature is rather than a stat block and like factual, like, hey, this is the thing.
Yes.
I don't care for it as much, but it becomes wildly popular eventually. Like the ecology of is becomes through Dragon Magazine's history very, very popular. It's not
Yeah.
it's not my jam. I
I,
just like to know that a young Chris Elliott, before he was working in television and movies,
That'd be funny if it was him.
I,
But
I enjoyed it. Even though it was borrowed from another magazine, I like the
Oh
thought
yeah.
out biology of this crazy creature.
yes, because
But
if you
that's it.
scroll
That happens a lot.
down,
Yeah.
there's a picture of what
Cross
it
section.
looks like. A neat, you know, someone with, I don't know, watercolors, pencil crayons, something, drew this full color thing. And yeah, it shows how it eats, and it talks about what it does to kill its prey and eat it. Um,
These kind of books are very popular. There's a one that just came out as a Marvel superheroes one where they do a very similar thing to all the different superpowers. They try to explain how they work and do this kind of cross section stuff. It's just a thing. Like I guess they're taking it from science textbooks or whatever, but
Yeah.
yeah,
it
this
does
is.
have a very medical
Mm-hmm.
textbook look to it. Yeah.
Who knew that
So
piercers
yes,
have kidneys?
the
You can punch them
piercer
in the kidney.
and the and I don't know kidney punch a piercer. Um, yeah, from basically a meme of a monster to taking it seriously, and yeah, the ecology of the piercer.
Well, there you go. Now we know all
So
about piercers.
yes, basically they got a hard candy shell. They fall from the roof. They pierce you. You die. Then the snail like body comes out of the candy shell and consumes you as a snail would from its, you know,
Yep. And then the smell like body crawls itself back up to the roof.
and hangs there.
Like a
Not
piercer.
a not a not a good way to go. So Rob, what's your next article?
I have no
I
more
know you said
articles.
you had two. What? You said
I
you had two more.
yeah, you guys stole them all.
Oh,
Thanks, guys.
okay. Well then we'll just go right to
I,
Pat.
I, I will
Pat,
say that I ignored all the April Fool's ones because they annoyed me this year. So there you go. There wasn't any funny ones in there. I don't know if you guys chose any April Fools. They sucked.
I didn't
I'll
see the
never
April Fool ones.
tell.
Pat, what's your next article?
Pat, what's your next article?
56.
56.
Level titles don't do justice.
Okay, yeah,
I
Yep.
agree with
I
this
agree.
article 100%.
Yep.
100%.
It's like you don't even have to read the rest of the article. I just agree. Yep, it's true. Level titles don't do anything.
In the beginning, it was a novelty when you were making characters. You're like,
Yeah.
ooh, at this level, I can be called this. But then, as I got more in depth with playing and older, I just didn't care.
We never used them. I don't think ever. I've never used a title.
Yeah.
It was always just like, okay, it's kind of a descriptor at what level they're at, but I would never
Yeah.
think this be, hey, I'm a whatever. I don't know
Exactly.
what
I mean, I think in the beginning, it's a novelty, and then once you get into the game and you become a veteran, you're like, I don't care.
Yeah, I can call
So-
myself a lord no matter where I am. So
As titles go in an organized, like say, organized religion, or in a something that where you go, okay, I've reached the title of, and it means something, and you could say, I'm my bishop has more rank than that guy's, cardinal or whatever, however that would work. But for most of the classes, all it was sometimes it'd be repeated, and it was kind of
or like
close, and it would be
something
from,
level 1, something level 2. It's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
and it'd
Uh,
be like, okay, from one society called it this, so that you're there, and then, oh, that
yeah,
society
skipped.
called
Yeah,
it, and it's like it was
all over the place. Yeah.
all over the place. And yes, this
Well,
guy,
in some of them, I know that you couldn't be called that. You couldn't be that level because you're like, there's only one at this level. There's only one arch druid or
Yeah.
whatever.
The monk ones were the worst
Yeah,
because they could only be one with that.
yeah. It's
I
like,
think that
makes sense.
happened when we were playing. Someone went up that level. I might be mistaken, and it was like, yeah, there's only one of those. What do you do now? You gain the rank.
You got to go find them for the title.
What do? You go butcher them? I don't know.
Yeah. It might have been someone lying about their level and being like, I am this level. And they're like, you realize
Yeah.
there's only one of that level.
No, I think it's just because in real life, it's like saying, okay, I've reached the Pope level with my cleric, and you go, well, there's only one of those in the world. Yeah,
That's what
there's
it
already
is. Yeah.
one. Yeah,
For sure.
but I
It's
get the
some of
level.
them were silly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that
Hey, that's my article.
that's your
That's
article.
actually my last article.
Okay, well, thankfully
Mm.
we'll go to my last article, and then we can move on to ads. Sweet, sweet, delicious ads.
I
See
do have an ad.
what we can. What
I have an ad.
you said you. Well, I got one more article, so
Okay.
let's go to 56 first.
We're at 56.
Oh wait,
58.
no, this was also my article.
Oh, this is your last article? That's funny.
April Fools.
Oh,
Oh,
you got us
I'm a
again.
jokester.
So none of us chose the April Fool's ones because they're horrible.
No one chose the April Fools ones. I alluded to the fact that I did, but I
Where
did
were
not.
they? I don't think I even noticed them, honestly.
47, I think it starts at.
There's one. There's a game in here about
Oh,
owning
49.
a magazine
is the
company that goes bankrupt.
Yeah, file 13 is that's
Yeah.
the thing, and it's all about magazine company, which wink wink nudge nudge, talking about dragon. And then
Oh.
there's a Valley Elf song, which is very bad. And
Oh, that's where that came from.
then we got Jock as a character class,
Yeah.
and yeah. Oh, and everything you need to know about sex in D&D. I think that's one of them. Oh no, I think that might be a serious article. No, that isn't. That's one of them. Yeah, I think I read that one and it was really dumb, and I refused to read anymore because they were real dumb.
Some years we've had the April Fools ones be entertaining at least.
At least have some kind of humor, yeah.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, and not even just the April Fools ones. We've had Christmas ones where you get, oh, Santa Claus. We've statted Santa Claus. That's funny and not really pertains to anything, but this year was not.
No.
I don't know if they just didn't have their hearts in it, or if, but it was not good.
No, not at all.
No, not even worth mentioning. Okay, so Rob, what do you say we go to your first ad?
This ad has nothing to do with anything in the role playing genre. It's on page 7. It's the Science Fiction Book Club because I was a member. I
think
got
we
so
were all
many
members.
books, so many books from this, and
Yep.
so many of my H.P. Lovecraft books and like weird fantasy or weird tales were all from Science Fiction Book Club. They had a lot of choices. I never did any of the fantasy books. I don't think it was always the more
Oh, I
horror
got
and
almost
sci-fi.
all my fantasy books, like my Elfstones I got from
Yeah,
there. got
I was always
Dragon
horror and
Riders.
sci-fi guy. So
But me and my friends, we abused this
no.
membership
We were talking about the Columbia House the same way.
just like the Columbia Record Company for a penny.
Yep.
We got all our cassettes that way, and
Yep. We were talking about the exact same thing just recently at somebody's birthday party, and this is I never abused the Science Fiction Bug Club. I was a serious member, so.
Oh,
But
not we were.
Oh,
I
Calebios, I
just.
was a bad
I
person.
did. I did. I think I had several different names.
Yeah,
I had 6 iterations of my name.
and like all your family members' addresses were used, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, it was a real dumb idea, but somehow they made it work. It just shows how cheap things were back then that they could just get away with this.
and it shows how much books really cost when you buy it and it says it's $15 in the back, and you go,
Yeah.
no.
Well, some of these are like $34 for a book, and it's like, yeah, you're putting these prices up so you can overcharge when people make a mistake and not cancel.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. You're losing at first, but for every person that goes, I got you. I got 5 books for $1. There's someone who
Bought one
a month
book and they
later
made it for it. Yeah.
go, oh my god, yeah.
Yep, for sure. But a lot of great books on this list. Look at that, Douglas Adams. That must have been brand new when this came out. I think I did have that the Treasury of Great Science Fiction short novels. I'm pretty sure I had that book. There you go. All the movie back then you couldn't I guess you could rent movies. It was starting to be able to be, but you'd really buy the book. If you want to relive a movie, you'd buy the book and read the book about the movie. The retelling. So I had quite a few of those too.
Wow.
But yeah, Dragon Riders of Pern. Everybody read that book.
You'd never see this kind of thing today. There's no.
I wonder if there's a digital version. I guess there is, because you can get what's it called from Amazon.
Yeah, I think it's called Audible.
Audibles as of audio versions, but there's also a Kindle thing that does. You get like a certain amount of points to buy books every month or whatever. Same idea, I guess, technically. But anyways, that was my ad.
Okay, so Pat, what do you got?
So that also was my ad, but I have one more ad, and we're going to go to page 71.
Ooh.
No. Oh, which one?
We're going to go to calling all game designers.
Coleco.
The Coleco job opportunity.
I had a ColecoVision when I was a kid.
ColecoVision, yep. Yeah. This is the area of the video game is starting to rear its head. This is when video games start to take over.
Yeah, especially like home entertainment systems. Yes, this is the beginning.
This is where we start to move away from tabletop to video arcade game cabinets.
I like how you have to have 1 to 3 years experience in designing games. Where like, really, does anybody have 1 to 3 years of designing games at this point?
Yeah. Well, no, I think this is actual games, not video games.
Oh, any games? Yeah, I had Pong on my ColecoVision.
Yep.
Boop. But definitely Boop. Arcade owners are getting a little bit of the flop sweats.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if they realize it yet, but it's coming. Within like 3 years.
The forward-thinking ones are getting a little.
Yeah, within like 3 years, there's the Nintendo and Sega come out.
Oh, I just say even less than that. Oh, I think right around now, the cabinets are starting to take over.
Oh,
you're spending quarters.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We've stopped playing D&D and we're going down to play Tron.
Mm-hmm. And Tron isn't out yet, but yeah.
Or Defender. Or Pac-Man or Space Invaders.
Pac-Man for sure. Yeah.
Centipede, Asteroids,
Tempest,
yes.
Yes.
So this is the start of that, and
Moonlander.
Then ColecoVision is coming out, and then now people are going to start getting.
And they say the Pac-Man portable tabletop arcade game. I remember playing that when I was a young lad. It's pretty amazing what
you go to the local pizza joint to play video games.
Yep. First video game I ever played. I was at the place I ended up working at, actually, pizza place, and it had the Pac. I think it was Miss Pac-Man actually, but it was the tabletop version. So it had all the cigarette burns all over it because people just put their cigarettes down to play it. Oh yeah, classic.
Yeah,
I remember that's where a buddy of mine, we'd ride our bikes up. There was probably a 45-minute ride to the same place Rob was talking about, and we played Contra.
Oh yeah, Contra.
We spent so much money.
And eventually there was another place near. There used to be an amusement park near us, and it was there was an arcade there, and I played the hell out of Tetris. So.
Oh yeah, that was a good. Yeah. Okay. Well, other than the fact that it was a equal opportunity
Oh yeah,
employer,
I see
both
that. Wow.
males and females are allowed to
Yeah, I
apply.
like how they did specify there. But
Um,
what
there's
year are you
plenty of
living in,
other
buddy?
there's plenty of other you know perhaps things you should be looking at. But anyways, my ad. If we're gonna go to page 2,
No, I passed this one by. I thought it's such a lie. Once again, this video game, but it's 20th Century Fox, which I was confused about. They make
that
video games.
that okay. See, in my notes, I have Century 20th Century Fox question mark question mark question mark. I did not know that they were in the game for any length of time.
The
Like
only time I ever remember seeing 20th Century Fox if it was a movie game.
so
They were in. I remember they had dabbled their toes, and I don't think
Didn't last long.
no, because I think they said this is ridiculous. There are other
It's
people
never going to be
doing
any
it.
money in video games.
No, I don't think they said.
And now they're owned by Disney.
Yeah, I don't think they said don't. They wouldn't. They couldn't make any money in video games. I just think they said there were so many people out there. Why fight everyone? Let's just keep focusing on movies.
yeah, which
which
was
was
why I'm shocked that they were even dallying with it. But
and this is
yeah,
Crypts of Chaos,
look
a new
look
strategy
at that
game.
picture. Like
I know
that's
that.
a
Yeah,
damn
lie,
fine, crisp,
lie.
clear
Yeah,
ad. Like
Mhm.
just for print media,
And it catches your eye like right away. I was like, what the hell? Oh, it's some video game.
it's stylized, but also it has like actual real colors and weight. Like it looks natural, but also fanciful. Like it's a lovely ad. The game was probably ass, but this ad was
I can only imagine how bad this game was.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For the Atari VCS video console system. What's VCS stand?
yes.
I've never heard of
Video
VCS
console
before.
system.
It might have been the video console system. Like I think the at that point, I think the Atari.
It wasn't
What was
26. No, was it 2600 or whatever?
no 2400 was the first one. Then they went to 4800, and then they went to what was like a Commodore, and I can't remember what it was called, but that was the VCS.
Hmm,
No idea. Never had an Atari.
no idea.
I went from ColecoVision right to Sega Master System.
Sega Masters.
Ooh, Sega.
No, that was
So,
Genesis. That was Sega Master System would never have talked like that.
That is my ad. Is anyone else got anything for this magazine? Anything else you want to bring to the attention of our
Scroll back up to this
faithful
amazing cover.
friends?
Nope, that's it for me.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, then, I think I'm going to wrap this bad boy up. I want to thank everyone for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you all next time for our
He can
next
see you when you're sleeping.
number 73.
Yep.
So until then, I've been Jack.
I've been Chopper.
I'm still Rob.
Good night. Click the bell,
Hey.
like, subscribe. Jack
Here's the
has
thing.
told you to be high.
I thought he was going to throw his pen like David Letterman.
Yeah, so did I too. I thought he was going to hit the coffee mug, ding, and then throw it right over his shoulders.
Yep.
Number 10, Boise, Idaho.
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 He's making up places now.
He's-
Let's get out of here. He's making up
That's-
places. Let's get out of here.
My top 10 list of places that don't exist but sound funny.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's number 10.
Kathmandu.
That exists.
I know, but it's still funny.
Oh, you gotta
You didn't
get
get the point of the ad then.
Bye-bye.
Good night.